apparently today, I really hit a nerve with the libs of TikTok. They don't like the fact that I've introduced legislation with Senator CC Marr, which basically all it does is it says you can't ban books. And oh, by the way, we're going to make sure that librarians in the public library and in schools are shielded from lawsuits, from all the crazies who are out there suing because they're not getting their way.
This goof. Another week, another example of government gone wild. This is my home state, Connecticut. State Senator Bob Duff. He's in charge over there at the super blue majority. He's not coping well, though, after libs of TikTok exposed him for introducing legislation that will allow pornography in schools, okay? In response to the video, libs of TikTok obviously tweeted out, quote, he calls parents who don't want their kids having access to porn in their schools crazies. Like, I wonder... Actually, I don't wonder, because I am a Connecticut parent. But the rest of them, I mean, how do we feel about being called crazy for trying to protect our kids? Not great. Why does Senator Duff want kids reading porn in school? The books that he wants to keep in kids' school are titled Genderqueer, This Book is Gay, Flamer, and Let's Talk About It. Many of these have sexually explicit images that you can see that we had to blur out of gay sex for children. And at least Democrats show up in Connecticut, though. As bad as they are, once they're there. In Minnesota, all the Democrats were absent for their speaker vote because they were upset that they were no longer in charge. Connecticut State Senator Rob Sampson and Minnesota State Representative and the new Speaker of their House, Lisa Demuth. All right, so, I want to just get into this one real quick in Connecticut, okay? So, Rob, what the heck is going on in our state Senate?
Oh, it's madness. Well, I mean, Bob Duff is the spokesperson for the woke wing of the Democratic Party here in Connecticut. And, they're rejoicing over having a mild victory in the legislature this recent cycle. But the fact of the matter is they're out of touch. I mean, I think that, Republicans in Connecticut, as they are nationally, are in touch with voters on issues like affordability and electric rates and so forth. But Bob and his cohort, they seem to think that if they continue to pound away at these woke issues, that it's going to, resonate with voters. And I think that they've missed the mark. I think they live in a bubble and it's about to burst.
Lisa, you obviously were just elected Speaker of the Minnesota State House. And the Democrats were like, oh, we're not in charge anymore. We're just going home. They didn't even show up to work.
They didn't show up yesterday and they didn't show up today. We have 67 members in the Minnesota House. Democrat that cheated in his election. There's a special election. They only have 66.
But that was a guy who didn't even live there. He wasn't qualified. He didn't meet the characterization to be elected in the first place, right?
That is right. So that's why we went ahead, House Republicans, organized the House and got to work for the people of Minnesota. That's what they want us to do.
Yeah, no, it seems simple enough. But Rob, let's zoom out nationally here. Republicans hold more state government seats than Democrats do. And Democrats are still doubling down on this type of crazy stuff. It's like they didn't even learn anything from the last election.
Right. That was the big question for me going into this session was, are they going to moderate their positions, recognizing that the country's moving to the right? But certainly not. You have the example of, the Senate Majority Leader. He's not a run-of-the-mill backbencher. That's Bob Duff, Senate Majority Leader, who's putting out this stuff. And, of course, you have our Attorney General, who is, doubling down on protecting criminal legal aliens. So, I mean, it seems to me it's pretty clear. Unemployment for striking workers. That was the news of today. So just you add these things up, you recognize the Democrats think that their woke agenda is going to resonate with voters. And I'm betting that it doesn't. And I look forward to putting Connecticut in its rightful spot in the red state column.
I sure hope so.